Good morning, good evening, good afternoon and good night to one and all. This is Stamp Collecting Fun and I'm going to have a look at some stamps. We will both have a look at some stamps today. In fact, all of us will have a look at these stamps. As long as this video is watched, then people will be able to see what stamps I've got. I'm rambling, so we'll get straight into it maybe, but first of all we'll have a look at Sunny Days. Stamp Villa Hotel. It's holiday season. Beep beep. Stamp holes. Stamp collecting fun. Phil Atterley's tours. You see what I did there? Bus stop. Cup of tea. Adolf is also on his holidays. Adolf the mouse. And yeah, so all aboard. Let's have a look what we've got to show. So I went into a box where I'm keeping my overflows, if you will. So the things I'm not working on go into the box and I'll bring them out. Otherwise it gets, the house is full. And I came upon these sheets, which I got excited about for a moment. So here we have the House of Windsor Dynasty. I'm not sure if we've seen these before. King George VI. And he lived from 1895 to 1952. He was born 14th of December at York Cottage, Sandringham. And he was christened, actually, Albert. So he was known as Bertie to his friends and to the family. Prince Albert Frederick Arthur George of York. He married the Queen Mother. Well, she subsequently became the Queen Mother, but then she was Lady Elizabeth Bowes-Lyons. And that happened in 1923. And he acceded to the throne, or he was crowned. Or at least he acceded to the throne on the death of, on the abdication of his brother on the 20th of December 1936. And he was crowned in Westminster 1937, 12th May. Anyway, enough history. We'll have a look at the stamps. So here we got Royal Tours in Canada in 1939, just before the start of the Second World War. So that's Royal Tours in Canada. Unfortunately, these are Aden. But, these little details, and it's 1937. These little details don't really matter. It's the stamps, isn't it? And here we have South Africa. And this is in 1947, post-war, so he's looking a bit ropey there after the war. I think he did have a bad war. We turn over, there's nothing on the other side. So these are pages, and they've got like plastics behind them to keep them nice and fresh, presumably. So next one, House of Windsor Dynasty, Queen Elizabeth, Queen Mother. She was born 1900, so she was as old as a century. That was easy to remember, and the youngest of 9 children. And she was aged 4 when her father became the Earl of Strathmore. And then she married 1923 and blah blah. So here she is. We've got, there seems to be a missing cover there. So maybe that's what it's about. And here we've got the Queen Ma looking elegant. And this is probably the most possessed of all the Queen Mother stamps. And she was, on her 80th birthday, living at Clarence House. So that's another one. So we turn that over. Here we have the Princess Anne. Born 1950 in Clarence House and christened Anne Elizabeth Alice Louise of Edinburgh. Wow. And here she's aged 1. I think we saw this stamp the other day, maybe. And here she is aged 22. Jersey stamp. So these are quite nice to have. And then she married Mark Phillips. That was the first royal wedding we had for ages, I think. And that was I think it may have been a holiday It was very enjoyable. And then she got divorced and remarried Commander Tim Lawrence at Crathy, near Balmoral. Balmoral being the Royals' favourite place to go on holiday. A little bit cold up there, I suspect. Here we have royal occasions. The descent of the royal family from Queen Victoria. So here we have a Victoriana stamp. So someone's written this out neatly. Edward the 7th, George the V, Edward the 8th, George the V1, Elizabeth the 2nd, and of course we've got Charles now. Charles and Andrew and Edward. So someone's been working hard. Very nice, very enjoyable. Royal visits. So these are spare places. Could I, if I came upon a royal visit, could I add to these? Interesting. Papua New Guinea. Royal visit 1974. That is the only stamp on the page, but someone has cut out a little coronet or crown. There. It's a lovely stamp. Okay, we're sticking with the dynasty. QE2. She became queen 1952 on the death of her father, and she was crowned June 53, so it took more than a year. Here we have Turks and Caicos coronation omnibus issue, it says here. Cover is back stamped to London, blah blah. Cover's been reefed out, been nicked, been half inched, but they've kept the stamps here. Yeah, so Jersey always features, doesn't it? Falklands, that's nice. This is again is one of the most common stamps. It's a silver wedding, and this is, I would suggest, is less common. Turks and Caicos Islands. How are we doing for time? 7 minutes. We better get a shift on. So here we've got Queen Elizabeth and what looks like Margaret Rose, her sister, South Africa. And then here we've got the King in Uganda, Kenya, Tanganyika. Again, the cover is missing. Edward the 8th. These were the 4 stamps that were produced for his reign. He acceded to the throne in 36, and he had January, and then by December he'd gone. Became the Duke of Windsor, and that's got a nice overprint of Tangiers, Morocco there. So you can get different ones with overprints, but yeah, well, nice. And here we have, again, a sort of family tree. So George, his sons, and then the Queen. Here we have what could be some sort of holiday, royal tour, 1953, so details of that and the places she went: Bermuda, Fiji, Jamaica. That's quite nice. And here we have an actual cover for once. So this is St John's, Enfield. Don't know. Silver Jubilee issue 1935, Australia. And here we have a nice cover and stamp anyway. Next, well, someone's been reefing stuff out of here. Edward the 8th. So 2 stamps remain. But we've seen them anyway. Definitives. Someone's been putting stamps in here. Should use this really, shouldn't I? There you are. So it keeps them nice and clean and fresh. Royal Wedding. All we've got here is a Queenie stamp, Australia. Haven't seen that stamp before. Stamps of Royal Tours, Cook Islands, Haven't seen that. Brazil. Hong Kong. Bermuda. That's a classy stamp. Turn that over. 53.50 for a Royal Tour of Australia. So someone's worked very hard at this. And this is Malta. After a 5-day visit to Malta, there was a 2-day visit to Gibraltar. Royal Tour 53.54, Aiden and Jib. To Brooke. Oh, nice. And there's more writing. And here we've got Prince Philip, 1959. And not quite finally, but here we have another Royal Tour sheet. Auckland, New Zealand, Indian Ocean, Australia, Ceylon. And interesting, the first Christmas broadcast outside of Britain. During Britain. And finally, Silver Jubilee, 1952 to 77, Royal Events, Cook Islands, Silver Jubilee to Her Majesty. So there's stuff going on in here that has been taken, Silver Jubilee stamps. Maybe something I'd be tempted to work on to, well, certainly if I came across any, I may have a look through my royal stamps and see if any would fit in the gaps. I'm not quite sure whether I should just keep this as a, well, just as a set really, and put it back in the box until such time. But we'll have a look. In the meantime, not exactly holiday weather here. The sun is trying to shine, but there's a bit of rain in the air. There's a bit of a cold wind out there. It is June the 3rd anyway, so you'd expect that. I hope you're having a fantastic day yourself and enjoying stamps. I'm going to just have another look and have a read through these and maybe put them in some proper order in case we're a little bit mixed up. But that was a nice little find today in the box and I hadn't really investigated. So I hope you enjoyed it. Check out also, I've done a couple of videos yesterday, the coin videos. I'm not saying they're hyper interesting, but I'm very impressed with the amount of countries that have been revealed. And then I did that a walk around the artwork that I've been doing to fill my front room. Yes, I'm running out of room, and I've actually done another painting today, which needs to dry off, and maybe I'll show that. It's on Instagram anyway. Anyway, I'll talk to you very soon, and have a fantastic day. Happy stamping, everybody. Stamp collecting is fun. This is Peter. He's now been on duty and is signing off from duty. Talk soon. Bye for now.